NFL is renowned for its amazing plays and exhilarating moments. It also had its fair share of controversy due to some of the worst hits in history. Players have suffered injuries from these bone-crushing collisions, and both spectators and pundits are in shock. Ndamukong Suh on Matt Schaub. Ndamukong Suh for the Detroit Lions kicked Houston Texans quarterback Matt Schaub in the crotch during a play in 2012. Suh's reputation for dirty play increased due to this highly condemned move. Dante Wesley on Clifton Smith. The incident happened during a 2009 NFL game between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Carolina Panthers. Dante Wesley of the Panthers attacked Buccaneers return man Clifton Smith viciously and illegally during a punt return. Wesley committed a risky and blatant foul when he struck Smith with his shoulder before he could grab the ball. Both teams were offended by this hit, which resulted in a major on-field confrontation. Wesley's conduct earned him an ejection from the game, and the NFL penalized him for 1 game for the illegal hit. Vontaze Burfict on Antonio Brown. In a wild-card game between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cincinnati Bengals during the 2016 NFL playoffs, the brutal and critical hit that Bengals linebacker Vontaze Burfict delivered to Steelers wide receiver Antonio Brown during the game is well known. Burfict struck Brown in the head with such force and illegality that it knocked him out and caused a concussion just as the clock was running out and the Steelers were trying to recover. The hit resulted in a penalty for needless roughness, which greatly affected the game. Burfict's hit on Brown was considered one of the worst plays in recent NFL history and received a lot of backlash. Danny Trevathan on Davante Adams. During a 2017 match between the Packers and the Bears, late in the third quarter, Davante Adams made an important catch on 3rd down that moved the ball down to the 8-yard line. In the blink of an eye, Bears linebacker Danny Trevathan struck Adams with a stunning head hit. 3-time Pro Bowler Adams was left stunned and unable to stand. Emergency medical staff who raced to his rescue immediately brought him to the hospital. Fortunately, Adams fully recovered and is still regarded as one of the best receivers in the NFL. Brian Dawkins on Ike Hilliard. The quarterback threw the ball to Ike Hilliard, but he was unable to reach it. Dawkins intentionally hit him late in order to cause him pain. He struck him even though he realized he didn't have the ball. Dawkins headfirst hit Hilliard's chest, which made him lose his momentum and knocked both players unconscious as they crashed to the ground, making the collision vicious. Antonio Brown on Spencer Lanning. On a punt return in the second quarter, Brown had just Lanning standing between him and the end zone. Brown tried to hurdle Lanning and kicked him in the face instead of cutting left into what seemed like wide open space. Lanning felt Brown's cleats full force. Lanning was kicked in the head by Brown and fell to the deck. The impact was mostly absorbed by Lanning's helmet, and he was given a 15-yard penalty for needless roughness. Antonio Brown was fined $8,200 for hitting Spencer Lanning in the face with his cleats. Albert Haynesworth on Andre Giroud. Albert Haynesworth became enraged in 2006 after the Dallas Cowboys scored a touchdown against the Tennessee Titans. Haynesworth was so furious that he stomped Cowboys center Andre Giroud in the face as a nasty way to vent his fury. It was so brutal because the helmet of Giroud was already on the ground. Giroud had to have surgery and 30 stitches to close the gashes on his face as a result of the brutal stomp. This horrifying act of violence highlighted one of the worst moments in NFL history and caused a huge uproar, culminating in Haynesworth's 5-game suspension. Ndamukong Suh act of violence. Ndamukong Suh, known for his aggressive style of play, once received a whopping $100,000 punishment for a low block on John Sullivan. But one particular instance sticks out more than the others, the one in which Suh crushed Aaron Rodgers' ankle severely. Commentators and fans alike were shocked by this act of violence, which appeared to be motivated only by hatred. Myles Garrett on Mason Rudolph. The unimaginable happened during a heated game between the Cleveland Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2019. In a fit of rage, Myles Garrett ripped Mason Rudolph's helmet off and swung it coldly at Rudolph's skull. This is one of the most unusual and violent occurrences in recent NFL history. Rob Gronkowski on Tre'Davious White. White intercepted a ball from Tom Brady in the fourth quarter during the game. Gronkowski dived on White from behind while face down on the sideline, driving his shoulder and forearm into the back of White's skull. Gronkowski was flagged for unnecessary roughness. These strikes, which are notorious for their savagery and lack of sportsmanship, serve as painful reminders of the vicious side of the NFL. Even while the league has made progress in enhancing player safety and lowering these kinds of accidents, these incidents are nevertheless deeply ingrained in the minds of players and spectators, underscoring the continuous need for reform and vigilance in the sport.